Heather, have you been able to meet your weight loss goals for the summer?
Nope.
Did you go to your family reunion?
Nope.
Have you gone on vacation?
Not the one I planned.
Did you get your house projects done?
Yeah, actually.
Oh, wow. Good for you.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you solve all of the world's problems?
And that's a hard no.
Did
It's going to be a hard no.
hard pass. No. Hey, you know what, though? We are halfway through summer, and there are so many things that we haven't gotten done this summer simply because it's the summer of COVID and of craziness and of everything else. Like, there's a lot that we haven't gotten done. But instead of focusing on that, I mean, heaven's sakes, we've got less than a month left before school starts. I want to focus on some of the positive things that have actually come out of this summer so that we have something to grasp onto and say, see, this wasn't a total waste. And we grew in ways that we didn't necessarily foresee happening at the beginning of this summer. So this episode, we're going to talk about all of our successes during summer of 2020. Let's go. One of my biggest successes from this summer actually is because I was invited to speak on an online event instead of in person. I actually had the ability to go and listen to other speakers. And as I was listening and as I was taking notes, I realized what I was going to speak on wasn't what I should be speaking on.
That's a good
for
thing to
my
figure
business.
out.
And so I pivoted as fast as I possibly could. I had 45 minutes before between when I listened to this previous speaker versus when I was speaking. And I was able to edit like half of my speech.
That's impressive.
To be able to pivot. And I got some of the best feedback I've ever gotten from teaching people, how to be productive in their space and things like that. And I've taken it and kind of expanded on it and run with it. And it's turned into a third of my business. And it's been fantastic. And that never would have happened. Had it not been for the Rona and the craziness of this summer. So success comes in weird ways if we allow ourselves to see it and to pivot. And that's been fantastic. I don't know, Heather, how about you?
I have had a similar epiphany. Because we didn't have gyms, I didn't have to teach all my classes. And so I was focused on me working out.
Nice.
Instead of all my people that I care so much about. And then I tend to sacrifice my own workout so that I can cheer them on. And so I gained a ridiculous amount of strength, and my stamina, my VO2 max, which I'm sure you don't know what that means.
Nope.
It just means you can breathe a lot more efficiently when your heart rate's super high. Yeah. Your body's more efficient with oxygen. Because I was doing my workouts. And when we went back to the gym and I started teaching, I was like, this is really easy. Whoa. I just recovered super fast. And so I've found a renewed focus on my own workouts.
Nice.
Which is kind of, it's kind of weird, but it's good. It's good.
It is good.
Because I got into this originally because I love it and I wanted to do it for me. And then I wanted
business profitable, or your own hobbies, your own interests.
Yeah. Well, and I really kind of fell into coaching. I didn't do it. I didn't ever plan it as my business model. I always planned on doing group fitness, but coaching other people and one-on-one training, that was never something I ever planned on doing. And then when I fell into it, it wasn't still a business plan. It was just to help other people.
Let's go do it for fun. Yeah.
But unfortunately, I took it as I always do. I tend to be all in kind of person. So
it's all or nothing, folks. When you get Heather, it's all or nothing.
I took it all the way, and I actually ended up sacrificing some of my own fitness.
Gotcha.
To help others. So it's been kind of cool to step back.
And to work on your personal success rather than business success and all that.
Yeah. The only hard part is now I don't really want to teach as many classes as I did.
Well, but that's, and I don't think there's any shame in saying that and any shame in realizing that and finding and adjusting that balance. I mean, isn't that part of success?
Absolutely.
Isn't that part of what makes you healthy, is being able to see that and realize and go, oh, if I scale back and if I pull back right here, or if I really put in here, I mean, it's that balance of I only have 100% of me and I can only divide it up so many ways. So if 50% goes to one area, that can be really lopsided. So to say, hey, I'm going to pull these things apart.
I think a lot of people found that over this last few months too. They found that they were doing a lot of things that they didn't necessarily want to be doing.
Yes.
I actually know several people who figured out that the career they were in was not for them.
Yeah.
And they've totally, like, one of my friends, I just talked to him the other day, and I was like, what are you doing? He goes, I am officially unemployed because what I was doing was not what I should have been doing. And he's like, now I'm working on heading in a whole different direction. And I was like, wow, that's kind of, yeah. So, but you don't get the opportunity to figure that out when you're just plugging away. It really took the world to come to a screeching halt sometimes for some of us to go, yeah, let's rethink that.
Yeah. Oh, I love that you just used that word.
Oh, rethink. That's a great concept.
But I loved watching people all of a sudden have more time at home, and they were able to get in and do these projects that they haven't been able to do in a long time. One of the excuses that I hear all the time, as to why you can't declutter is to say, well, I just don't have time.
Right.
I'm not at home. I don't have the time to invest in this. And all of a sudden, people had the time.
Yeah.
And so I was seeing people actually dig in and get themselves decluttered and get themselves at least to a point where they said, I got as far as I could go. Now what? But then they felt so much better hiring somebody because they knew that they had exhausted all of their efforts and energies and resources.
Right.
So they didn't feel like they were wasting anything. Now they felt like, hey, this is an actual, like, really good, worthwhile purchase, instead of just saying, like, oh, I should be able to do this on my own. Like, oh, I can't believe it.
Well, I'll be honest. I did have projects lined up, and I did get them done.
Yeah.
But one of them turned into a lot bigger project, and it was because my husband was available.
Yeah.
Because we were not able to go skiing, which I'm going to try and not get angry about it. They took my favoriteest toy away, and it was not very nice.
Right.
But because of that, we had many a spring Sunday when we could do other projects. And so we ended up with a major project on our hands, but it turned out okay. It took us way longer, and it was way more involved and way harder than we thought it would be. But we did it.
But what successes have you seen come from that?
Oh my gosh. You know what it is? I repainted all the doors in my house.
Oh, I still have to do that in my house.
Do you know how good it feels to walk around your house and not see, like, dings and fingerprints and scratches and scuffs and drips, because we had to spray it. Because if you roll it, then there's like drips.
You can see the texture and you can see the drips.
I had done that like 4 years ago. I had repainted with a roller. And for 4 years,
you got to see all
every
those.
time I opened my pantry, every time I opened my bathroom, I was like, and so all of a sudden, my house was a happy place.
Oh,
I walk around, I'm like, oh, my doors no longer have drops.
Can you tell we're a little perfectionistic? That's the pot calling the kettle black, isn't it?
Listen, whatever works. But really, I think we tend to focus so much on not enough, didn't get it done, couldn't, wouldn't, should have. And we need to celebrate little successes.
Absolutely.
I've actually started a little ritual with myself when I do something that I think is particularly awesome. Like, for example, the other day, I taught myself how to create an entire membership website. Yeah.
That's amazing.
It took an entire day. But I found this great place where I can put all of my courses, all of my memberships, everything in one place. My clients get their own login, and
that's amazing.
Videos, PDFs, it's all there.
That's amazing.
And it took me all day.
I was gonna say, but you're close to pushing out your new program.
Yes, my new it opened yesterday.
Yay!
It opened yesterday. So I was like, I got to get this done. I'm just going to do it. And at 5:00, I poured myself a beverage and I cheersed myself because I was alone. Excellent. And I was like, you did an amazing job today. And you know what? It felt just as good as if I had someone to clink glasses with.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just have to actually say it out loud. And I did.
Okay. So, the fun scientific thing of what you're doing right now is when you celebrate something. So we have a tendency, the oldest part of our brain is what tells us that we are either safe or in danger. And a lot of times when we go through something really, really frustrating, we're actually recognizing that frustration as fear of the unknown, fear of doing something new and different, of,
right.
Creating a membership website, and our brain registers that not as frustration, but as fear. And so we're actually telling our brains that this is scary and we shouldn't do it again.
Yeah.
But if we can step back and say, oh man, okay, deep breath, this was amazing. And then go and celebrate by pouring ourselves a glass, or going skiing, or, going and eating a donut, or whatever, whatever it is that, you stand up and you do a happy dance, or you go do a celebratory lap around the neighborhood, whatever it is, go light off a firecracker that you saved from the 4th of July. Go celebrate, because what you're doing actually is you are either reprogramming or programming your brain to recognize that fear as, oh, this is okay, and that I can grow and progress from this, instead of cowering in the corner and saying, this is fearful. Yep. I'm afraid. And so therefore I'm never going to do it again.
It's the equivalent of when a toddler does something scary.
Yeah.
And they fall down and they stand back up and you go, see, you did it.
Yay!
You're so great. And they're like, I sure am. And then they're not afraid to do it again.
Exactly.
Because our brains
no matter
are really
how many
still
times
3-year-olds.
they fall, they still get that yay when they stand back up.
Right.
And that's exactly what we're doing with ourselves. We're giving ourselves the yay factor.
Isn't it funny we don't do that as adults? Why don't we? We should.
Social programming, I was going to say. But, anyway.
I'm telling you, I started doing it recently for just every little victory that I felt like I had, when I launched my program, and there were seemingly no glitches. There might still be one that we discover. But as so far, there are no glitches. And I was like, yay me.
Yeah.
And then, help somebody do something like, oh man, your project you just posted, the homeschool project. That totally was like yay me worthy. That was great. So
yes.
Hopefully you celebrated.
I totally did. I went out and bought myself some organizing bins.
Woo!
I am so weird.
But you already had a plan for them.
But I did, absolutely.
Because we know Ashley says,
I follow my own rules.
Don't go buy the bins unless you have a plan.
Exactly. So no, it was so much fun to see, so many moms right now are doing homeschool for the first time. And I wanted to show that success. And she was so happy with the way that it turned out. Her kids came in and were, wow, Mom.
And now they're all excited for school.
And now they're all excited for school because they have their own little bin and they have, anyway. But yeah, those successes, they can be simple and quiet, but they can also be big and in your face kind of successes. And if you haven't noticed, Heather and I aren't in the same location as we normally are. I know you've been dying for us to say something about it. No, but part of our success is being able to network with people that, that maybe we didn't have access to previously. And this is one of our friends' studio. This is Jonathan's studio. And this is something that he just did during the Rona. And so, we are surrounded.
And it looks amazing.
And if you're only listening instead of watching,
you can hear the quality of it.
Can you hear this? Like, this is amazing. We can whisper. And you can still hear us. But this
is a very
fun.
Professional setup. We're
you know what? We're just celebrating our successes because this is so fun. But it's the little things that, pretend that you were that toddler. What would your mom cheer you on for? Like, so much more than what we give ourselves credit for. And part of it is just growing up and being an adult and realizing, like, okay, you don't need a trophy for everything. You don't need to cheer yourself on for everything. But on the other hand, sometimes, dang it.
Sometimes you need to just say, hey, you're awesome.
It's worth it. It's worth it.
So I've got a great idea for homework this week.
Okay.
How about you find something to celebrate? Yay! Celebrate it. And I want you to celebrate it publicly.
Ooh, even
Not
better.
just alone in your basement saying, yay me. I want you to post it on social media. And I want you to tag us.
And you can tag us individually. You can tag the HomeBod podcast. But we want to see, because we want to celebrate with you.
Yes.
Simply to show you that people care. We care. We care about your successes. We care about each other's successes, and we care about yours. We want to see it. We want to
tag us, and we will reshare
it
and cheer you on even more. See?
Yes.
Then you'll have like 1 million people cheering you on.
But isn't that what we need to see right now?
Yes.
Instead of people tearing each other down, that's everywhere right now. You can find that everywhere. But I want to see people cheering the successes on that each other have had.
Love it.
Good homework for the week.
I like it.
Good job.
High five us.
Yay. I get to sit here and do this all day, honestly. Just whisper back and forth. Find us on social media, tag a friend, invite them to come and join us, because you can tell we have a whole lot of fun. But find us on social media. Find us on HomeBod Podcast, anywhere that podcasts are, and share it with a friend. Tag us so that we can celebrate with you as you celebrate your successes this week.